Hello and welcome to my video. I hate conformity and groups. I suppose I should start from the beginning. So when I first observed groups and conformity, basically I noticed that all the fights would start out when there's a large group. So let's say two individuals wanted to have a fight. Now if they did it one-on-one with no one around, and they perhaps talked about it the next day, I would say that's fair enough. That's all well and good. However, what I saw in my observations is people, their behaviour changes the second you add more people, and then the more people you add, the worse the behaviour gets. And as I said, starting with school, again, people would only sort of start fights when they got their little gang or their little crew together. And then I can take that further. So I'm English, and one of the things we are famous for is football hooligans. And again, you never hear of a single football hooligan, I don't know, bashing up a bar and getting into a fight, do you? It's always a group. And you can just keep extending groups and conformity. For example, if you say, oh, Muslims have killed lots of people, someone will simply reply, well, Muslims have killed more other Muslims, which is 100% true. And again, they're killing each other because they're not conforming enough. They conform on loads of stuff, and they're just not conforming enough. And the same with the conflict in Northern Ireland. It's again equally as retarded. Again, Protestants versus Catholics. They agree on so many things, and then they disagree on a few things. Like, nah, you're not conforming enough. You gotta be exactly like me, otherwise I'll kill you. Absolutely crazy. Now, the only exception I make with conformity is, or the only conformity I agree with is conforming with reality. I honestly, I've never come up with an argument where conforming with reality could necessarily be bad. Now, it may be painful or difficult, possibly even traumatizing, depending on how crazy the reality might be. However, again, you like everything, you got to face it, preferably head on. Now, I suppose on the flip side of groups, I suppose there's good groups, like charity organisations. I suppose technically the police is a good group. Just for me, as I said, I honestly don't like to be part of a group bigger than 3 people. I find almost any restriction on, I don't know, myself or the individual's freedom to express themselves as, to be honest, just distasteful or not non-agreeable. Now, I can only offer you my opinion. I think people love to call MGTOW a group, or they want to make it a group. It's just to add more meat onto the bone. So it's easier or bigger to attack. Because the second you give it a group, you can then say, well, it's got a group identity. And then you can say, oh, well, there's an in-group, out-group. All the people in the in-group have had the red pill, and all the people in the out-group have got the blue pill. They're just gynocentric cucks. And that way, yes, MGTOW's a group. However, for me, as I said, I dislike pretty much all groups. I don't want to be part of almost any group. Even groups I have created, I keep the numbers as small as I can. As I remember sort of running a guild online, and if I had too many guild members, people would go, oh, I'd love to join your guild. Tell them, no, got too many members, go over there. I couldn't care less. And believe it or not, I actually have quite a large family. Like, my mum was one of 13 children. So I've got tons of aunts and uncles. Now, of course, there is some fun to be had at a family gathering. However, I definitely don't feel the need to surround myself with family members on a regular basis. Like I see some people and they almost have some sort of imperative that they must meet up with their family every week or every other week. I suppose it's apparent by now, but I suppose it's disliking groups and conformity for me does seem to be almost a trait inherent of an introvert. As my aim, if I'm going to have a conversation or interaction with another human, would be, hopefully, to be deep and meaningful. And unfortunately, in my experience, the more people you add, the more diluted the meaning. And to be honest, this is even true of sort of YouTube content. You'll start off with a few people making certain content, and then the more people you get added to the mix, they're going to add their own twist, their own substance to it, and you've got a completely different animal. Now, there's nothing inherently bad about that. That's just unfortunately sort of group dynamics 101. More people equals change, and everything always changes all the time, unfortunately. Well, could be for the benefit, I guess. I'm going to give a quick shout out to John Nada. He has a great saying, which is, "You are free to do as you're told." Which it always makes me laugh, that saying. It reminds me, it's very, very similar to Christopher Hitchens. He says, "I have free will because God told me so." As in, I have free will because my boss says so. And his position is, I have free will because I have no choice. I will leave it at that. Thank you for watching, listening, and goodbye.